One of the great truths that I've learned is that revival is always preceded by prayer. When God gets ready to move in a community, in a church, or even in a nation, He always sets His people to praying. It's always been this way in the great historic revivals. Many people don't know, but America was birthed before America became a nation, and it was just in its infancy. There was a man by the name of George Whitefield who came and preached mightily, and thousands of people would come and hear him preach. And by the way, he didn't have any public address system, and he would preach to the multitudes, and God sent a mighty revival, and that was the underpinnings of the birth of the nation. But many times Whitefield could be seen. He would be coming from the fields all night. He had been alone with God, praying and seeking the face of God. Prayer always precedes the great revivals. And this is not only true back in the 1700s, it's true today. I had the opportunity to preach in Cairo, Egypt, and a great church there, the Casa de Barra Church, and the largest church perhaps in all of the Middle East. And I asked one of the people there at the church, one of the leaders, I said, how did this church become such a strong church? And I'll never forget what he said. The first pastor of this church was a great man of prayer. Amazing. He was a man of prayer, and now that church is one of the greatest churches. It's not just that way in Cairo, but I was in Hyderabad, India with Pastor G. Samuel when he was pastor there. He started the Hyderabad Baptist Church, and it was amazing the growth that took place. The first time I spoke there were about 3,000 people who were members of the church. It grew to 6,000 when I came back, and whenever I came back later, it was 9,000. Then it got into the teens where it was 13,000, 14,000 people attending. And Pastor Samuel began his ministry going to a place called Nagaland. And in Nagaland, there was a great revival that had swept there. And the churches have, right next to the church building, there is a place of prayer where the people will go and they will pray and seek the face of God. And Pastor Samuel saw that, and he said when he came back to Hyderabad, he decided that he would do the same thing in Hyderabad. And so do you know what they have? Well, if you go to the Hyderabad Baptist Church, before you go in now, there's a big tower that you can go up, and it's glassed in, and you can see the Twin City area there. And you find day and night there are people crying unto God, seeking the face of God. The pattern hasn't changed. It was the pattern in the Bible. It was the pattern of the New Testament church. God's people prayed. The scripture says, if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and forgive their sin and heal their land. What God said thousands of years ago, He brought to pass in Whitefield. He brought to pass in Egypt. He brought to pass in India. And He can bring it to pass in your life, in your community, in your heart. But we must pray. Prayer always precedes a great move of God's Spirit.